Okay, good morning everyone. This is what we're going to be making today. These beautiful ciabatta mini loaves. Beautiful. I can't wait. Alright, come on. Let's get baking. Right, the beautiful thing about this recipe is that it's all about technique. There's only 4 ingredients in the recipe, so it's what you do with those ingredients that's going to make the difference. Right, let's get this underway. I had to stop filming for a while because a gentleman next door decided that he would start up a chainsaw. Right, 280 mils of warm water straight in there like that, and now we can add some yeast. This is baker's yeast, which has a mixture of yeast and some enzymes as well to help with the bread structure. Now we're also going to dissolve this. Don't worry that it's not come together straight away. Sometimes it can be quite stubborn. We're going to add a teaspoon of salt to this. There we are, 1 teaspoon of salt. And now I'll measure out the flour. Now when you're buying your flour, always have a look at the back, and you can see here the protein level is at 11.7 grams per 100 grams, or 11.7%. And for bread making you want flour that's somewhere between 11.5 and 12.5%. Now we want 350 grams. 200, 300, just another 50, come on, you know you can get there. There we are. Now we can add that to our yeast, salt and warm water. Right, now we just need to bring that in together. It's going to be quite sticky. There we are, that's all been brought together quite nicely now. We're going to put it into our container. Now, it's going to be in this container for the next 2 hours. And we're going to use quite a typical method for high hydration doughs, and this is about 80%. So very, very high hydration, and we're going to have to use the stretch and fold method. But first, let's leave this for around about 45 minutes, and then we'll come back and do our first stretch and fold. I don't know, I mean I've done this so many times, but every time I do it I get scared that I'm going to end up with dough all over my hands, arms and everywhere else because it is so sticky. Cover this with a lid, alright, and we'll come back in 40 minutes. Okay, that's 45 minutes. Let's have a look at our dough. Right, this is going to be the first of our stretch and fold. Get your fingers into the water. So just have a bowl of water here. Then this is very, very sticky dough. Pick it up and drop it down. Then turn it around. Do the same again. Pick it up, fold it over, drop it down. Pick it up, stretch it, fold it over, drop it down. You want to do 2 rotations of this to start off with. Don't worry that it feels horrible. It's actually looking quite good, quite early on. I've seen it worse than this. So give it a good stretch, just let the weight of the dough stretch it. There you go, look at that. It's already getting better. Two more times. There we are. Now I'm going to cover that and leave it for half an hour. Right, it's time for our second stretch and fold. I'm going to put some water there, but this is so wet I think I'll take my chances. So same process as last time. Pick it up, drop it, pick it up, drop it. So this is coming away from the container quite easily now. It's starting to really develop those strong gluten strands. There we are. I'm going to, didn't even need to dip my fingers in water that time. Let's put our lid back on and leave it for another 30 minutes. Alright, this is the last of our stretch and fold exercises. Sounds like more like a yoga class, doesn't it? Right, let's pick this up and look at that. Oh, still getting a little hole there. So it's not quite developed, but very close. The aroma coming from this dough is so superb. It's going to be a beautiful bread, this. Okay, there we are. Probably should have used some water that time. Never mind, I'm going to cover that up for another 30 minutes. And then we're going to turn it out onto a floured board and shape it. Then we're going to leave it for its final proof before we pop it in the oven. Right, that's really risen now, hasn't it? Alright, I'm going to flour this board and then we'll turn it out onto the board. So, be fairly generous because I'm going to imagine it's going to pick up quite a bit of this. Let's toss it out. There we are. Whoops, trying to escape. Let's get a little bit over the top there. I'll get that sticky dough off my fingers. Right, now we'll get our dough cutter. We want to separate this into 3 parts. And then I'm going to get some parchment paper and line a baking tray. Right, we've got our baking paper in there. We want to try and make all of these a sort of rectangular shape. And I'm going to cover these and leave them for 45 minutes before we put them in the oven. And there you go, I've sprinkled them with a bit of flour, and now I'm just going to cover them lightly with a tea towel. Right, I've put a tray of water on the bottom shelf of my oven, and now I'm going to take these and put them straight in. Now I've got it at 200 degrees Celsius for the first 10 minutes, and then I'll chop it back to 180 for the next 15 to 20 minutes. Right, there we have it, straight out of the oven. Whew. Oh, perfect. So that's the end of part 1, which was making the ciabatta bread. In part 2, I'm going to show you some of the applications of using this bread. So I look forward to seeing you tomorrow. I was going to see if I could get a taste now, but it'll have to wait till tomorrow. I'll see you then. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll catch you in part 2.